Welcome back, everyone, to the smartest year ever, our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalist. My name is Gordy, hey, and it is Brain Week. So I was just wondering, have you ever walked into a room and thought, wait, I've been here before, but you know you haven't, or at least you think you haven't? Like and subscribe if you haven't, or even if you think you haven't, so you can keep up every single day. I do this every single day. It's called Déjà vu. From the French already seen, and it's one of the strangest tricks that your brain plays, suddenly convincing you that a brand new moment is somehow familiar. For a split second, reality feels like a rerun. Hey, I've seen this one before. One study estimates that 60 to 80% of people will experience déjà vu at least once in their lives, most commonly between the ages of 15 and 25, after which it gradually declines. Some researchers think that it's because your brain becomes more pattern saturated with age, or because your memory monitoring systems become less trigger happy. Interestingly, people who travel frequently, read often, or report vivid dreams tend to experience déjà vu more often. It seems to be associated with higher cognitive engagement, meaning the more mental patterns your brain builds, the more likely it is to get tricked by them. But what's actually going on in the brain? Let's look at that. All right. For a long time, psychologists thought déjà vu might be linked to repressed memories or even past lives if you're feeling mystical. But modern neuroscience has shifted the focus to a more grounded explanation, something called a memory misfire. In 2006, psychologist Cleary at Colorado State University ran experiments showing that déjà vu can be triggered when a new scene resembles the spatial layout of a previously experienced place, even if you don't consciously recognize the connection. For example, a hallway shaped like your old middle school might feel uncannily familiar even if you've never been there before. It's a kind of false recognition triggered by pattern similarity. Déjà vu studies, as you'd imagine though, are notoriously hard to conduct because it's difficult to induce true déjà vu. The leading theory now is that déjà vu is caused by a temporary hiccup in the brain's memory system, specifically a miscommunication between the medial temporal lobe, home of the hippocampus, where memories are formed, and the frontal cortex, which helps decide whether something feels familiar. Basically, your brain flags something as familiar before it actually checks why. Like, by the time it realizes it, it's too late, and you've already had the eerie sensation of remembering something that never happened. Some researchers also think that the brain may be momentarily confusing short-term and long-term memory. In 2012, neuroscientist Akira O'Connor and his team used fMRI to scan people's brains while inducing a kind of déjà vu. And they basically used, because I was interested, like how to read the PubMed on this, they basically used like virtual like Sims-style scenes with similar spatial layouts. Like participants would see like the same kind of like setup of a hallway or something that's in this like kind of VR simulation-ish thing. And participants often reported déjà vu when the room layout matched a prior scene, even though they didn't consciously remember the first one. So there's like some, spatial component to it there. The scans didn't show activity in memory centers, but they did light up the decision-making region of the frontal lobe, and that suggests that déjà vu might not be about memory itself, but about memory monitoring. Like your brain's going, like, wait, this feels familiar, right? Like, isn't this? Because like your frontal cortex is trying to make sense of it. Interestingly, people with epilepsy, especially temporal lobe epilepsy, often report frequent and intense déjà vu as part of their auras before a seizure, and that's part of what originally gave neuroscientists the idea that déjà vu was neurologically grounded. And while we're on the topic, because I like this kind of stuff, and there's also this concept called jamais vu, which is French for never seen, where something familiar suddenly feels completely alien. And that's like when you stare at a word over and over again, like say the word shark, and eventually it just becomes nonsense to you. That's a very real concept. I feel like I feel that one a lot. So that's interesting. We could probably do a whole episode on jamais vu. And then there's also presque vu, which is almost seen, and that's that frustrating feeling of a word or a memory being right on the tip of your tongue. So some variations there for you. Different flavors. For most people, déjà vu is just a fleeting misfire, a strange, vivid illusion of familiarity that fades as quickly as it comes. It's not a sign of anything mystical or ominous. Instead, it's likely just reflecting the brain's constant balancing act between perception and memory. When those systems briefly go out of sync, like when your brain mistakes the present for a memory, you get that eerie flash, and it's a reminder that memory isn't a perfect playback system. So there you have it. Déjà vu isn't proof of a past life or a psychic flash. It's more likely your brain taking a shortcut and stumbling over itself. Thanks to all my sources, which can be found in the YouTube description. Go check them out. Go check out my 1-minute version at Smartest Year Ever, everywhere. Share that, comment. Let me know what you think of that version. I'd appreciate it. And in the meantime, stay curious and stay clever on our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalists. I will see you tomorrow in the smartest year ever. And in the meantime, stay curious and stay clever on our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalists. I will see you tomorrow in the smartest year ever. Déjà vu.